back to the hotline we go. We bring in the NASCAR Nationwide Series points leader, Jason Leffler, who's back in the number 38 Great Clips car this weekend. Top of the morning, Jason.
What's happening, guys?
Hey, Jace.
Well, how does that sound, pal? Points leader, the first time ever in your career.
It sounds pretty good. Some momentum that carries along with that. And, yeah, we've been having some pretty solid finishes, not great finishes, but it's pretty cool. So look forward to carrying that on to California and running good this weekend with a Great Clip Chevy.
Well, let's talk about last week in Bristol. Tell us about your day there in Thunder Valley.
Yeah, I mean, we had we had a top 10 day. Got a lap down one time because Kyle was just so fast, and got the lucky dog, and had to battle back there. So we ended up 8th, and it was a quiet day for the AccuDoc Chevy. I mean, we qualified second, when we threw the new tires on there, the car got really tight, so it kind of threw us for a loop there. But Eddie Pardue and all the guys did a great job tuning on it. To come back and finish 8th was pretty decent. So every week we're improving on our cars, and this week in California will be no exception.
Now, how do you gauge making improvement on the cars? I mean, obviously running well on the racetrack is a good indicator of that. Are there other things that you look for as well?
Well, I mean, I think as every week, everything's so new as far as setup. I said that in the past, and every week it seems like we find a trend and we keep going more and more towards that. We ran competitive in Bristol. We're like Vegas. I mean, I know we ended up finishing 9th, but we struggled most of the day, and through pit strategy and some good pit calls from Eddie, we were able to get 9th. Phoenix, we struggled. So we're just happy to have a competitive car this past weekend, and got a brand new race car going to California, so the Great Clips Chevy will be shining and be able to open up and air out that Hendrick motor we got there. So I'm looking forward to that.
Let's talk about that tire situation at Bristol, particularly for the Nationwide Series teams, Jason, because you guys did not get a chance to practice on that new right side tire. How did that work out for you guys?
Well, I mean, it pretty much it hurt our race. It took us 2 stops to get back going again, and definitely the Cup guys that switched tires in the happy hour previous to the Nationwide race, they had an advantage. They knew what it was going to do, and but Goodyear had to do what they had to do. I mean, obviously the tire they brought there was wearing out quick. It might have been okay. It was starting to wear farther and farther. We were getting more and more laps out of it, but you still can't take that chance. They wouldn't be able to fire off and race and have everybody pit in 40 laps at Bristol. So they did all they could do, but it was tough. It was tough for us to get adjusted to it, and we never did get it right, but we got it a lot better from the first time we put those new right sides on.
Was it a complete surprise to you guys to have that as an issue going into Bristol?
Very much so. We never have a tire issue there, and we just figured that they would have brought this same tire we ran in the fall. I mean, we were bringing a new race car. No one tire tested down there, and sometimes you got to keep things consistent when you're changing other things. So I thought they would have been more conservative, but obviously whether it was the weather. I know they were worried about it. The sun they thought if the sun was out, it would have laid rubber quicker, and I think they're definitely right on that. But the first day of practice, it was cold and cloudy, and it was just tearing the tires up. So yeah, it was a surprise.
Talking with Jason Leffler, the points leader in the NASCAR Nationwide Series, it's a homecoming of sorts, racing at the Auto Club Speedway in Fontana this weekend. We talk about consistency. Is Fontana a track that stays consistent over the course of a race, or is there not a change that goes on that racetrack over the course of a 300-miler?
That's a great question, because that place, there's nothing consistent about it. The sun goes in and out, and the grooves are really inconsistent. And I don't mean that in a negative light. I mean, from a driver's standpoint, I think it's awesome. It's a fun place to race. There's, 3 to 4, maybe 5 grooves sometimes. If the sun goes behind the clouds, you gain a bunch of grip. If it just barely peeks out, your car just gets really slick and you get loose or tight. So, but from a driver's standpoint, I love it. I know it looks like we're just kind of driving around there pretty easily, but you're always up on the wheel there, especially to go fast. You're always back steering and trying to find grooves that fit your car for that.
Did we lose
Jason?
him?
Again, not a good day for the old cell health plan, I'm telling you.
Oh, man.
Holy moly.
Because this is a homecoming for him. I know he gets pumped up going out to
He's
to
from Long
Fontana.
Beach.
Yeah.
A couple hours away, down by the coast.
Stone's throw, Bagman from the Auto Club Speed. Well, that's a pretty good toss, but
if you're Randy Johnson, take it easy. It's good to see, and for those that don't know, this is the first time he's ever led the points in the Nationwide Series. 262 starts, 11-year career. And this is the first time that he's been on top in the point standings.
Well, again, like it or not, this is what NASCAR had in mind with the pick a series championship policy, to shine the spotlight on Nationwide Series regulars. And right now, after 4 races, Jason Leffler, a Nationwide Series regular, is leading the point standings going out to Fontana this weekend.
I'm sure he'll spend some time with family and friends. And, from a racer's perspective, and he brings up a great point. While it doesn't look like a lot's going on the racetrack, there's a lot going on inside the race car.
They're busy.
There's a lot of racing there. Let's go back to the hotline and see if we got Jason back. You there?
There he is.
I'm back. Sorry about that.
That's all right. You were talking about how the track changes over the course of a race, Jason. How about how that racetrack has changed since the first time you guys raced there? Has it?
Oh, it's changed a lot. Yeah, I mean, as the years have gone on and the surfaces wore out, it's gotten slick, and slick racetracks are good, and as time goes on these racetracks, you notice the racing gets better. So it's improved over the years. You know what I mean? It's you can run right on the fence, especially the Cup cars. The more horsepower they seem to be able to run right on the fence or right around the bottom. Where the Nationwide cars, we can get up about 3/4 of the way, and sometimes right on the fence, but it's a long way to go for us. But it's a driver's track. It really is. And from the TV, I know it doesn't look that way. It looks like we're just kind of driving around, but you're always up on the wheel there.
Talking with Jason Leffler of the NASCAR Nationwide Series, we refer to this as a homecoming for you, obviously from Long Beach. Do you get a chance to visit with family and friends while you're out there?
I do. Usually I go out early and hang out with my brother and his family and some friends there. But this time I'm just going out. I'm going to stay later since we have the off weekend. I like to kind of stay in my groove, so I'm just going to fly straight to the races and race and then have a good time after that. But yeah, I get a lot of people out there to race to cheer me on, and it's fun. It is my home track, obviously, being from Long Beach, not too far from there. So I just haven't had a very good finish there in a long time, so I'm looking forward to having a good run and something to show for it when we leave there. So it's probably been one of our weaker tracks, whether it's been just performance or we've had a few DNFs there. So looking forward to changing all that this weekend in the Great Cliff Chevy.
We'll probably talk to you more about this next week, but again, you stop, now you're starting, then you're going to stop again. I know you don't like that. I know you like to be out there every weekend.
Exactly. I mean, I want to get racing here and race every single week. And that weekend off, it doesn't sound like much, but it does. It gets everybody out of their groove a little bit, and especially me driving wise, I'm looking at the schedules trying to figure out if I can go race something somewhere. And it's still so early. It's still so early in the year that not a lot of other things are racing other than the Cup Series and the trucks at Martinsville. So there's something that I could get in, I would probably be more than excited to go racing.
Safe travels out west. Enjoy the time in the home country there. Good luck on Saturday, and congrats on being the points leader headed into the Royal Purple 300 at Fontana.
All right, guys. I appreciate it.
Have a good weekend, Jason. Thanks.